After a court has decided how to deal with people's more liquid assets, so for example properties and savings, it will then need to go on to consider other assets. One of the most important other types of assets that people hold are pensions. Pensions are not to be treated the same as liquid assets like houses or savings. They are an income stream which can be provided to people in retirement, although in more recent years changes to Acts of Parliament have meant that pensions can be treated more like capital than they once were. It's important to bear in mind that pensions are complex financial instruments, and when you're thinking about how to deal with them, you really should take advice from some sort of regulated independent financial advisor. When we're talking about pensions, there are several distinctions that can be made. The first is in relation to state pensions and private pensions. When it comes to state pensions, there are two: the basic state pension and also several forms of additional state pension. The rule has been for a long time in relation to state pensions that when parties are divorced, the party who has got the less good record of contributing to national insurance can substitute the other party's contributions record for their own. If you're thinking about how you would use a Microsoft Word document, it's a bit like copy and paste. So you can take the other person's national insurance contribution record and make it your own. And that means that if, for example, a wife has divorced her husband and she's spent all her years bringing up the children, she can end up with a very similar basic state pension to her husband. There are some changes, however, that are taking place in relation to how those contributions are treated, and that's another reason for getting independent financial advice. One of the points to bear in mind about the basic state pension is that you cannot have a pension sharing order of a basic state pension. So you can't go to the court and ask the court for a share of your husband's basic state pension or of your wife's if you're the husband. In relation to additional state pensions, they can, in theory, be shared. By far the largest sums of money that are dealt with in terms of pensions, however, by the courts are private pensions. These come in various shapes and sizes, and again it's another area where it's well worth getting independent financial advice about what their values are. In terms of the court process, however, the court deals with these assets on the basis of what's known as a cash equivalent value, a CEV. Under various statutory regulations, there's a procedure for the pension funds to calculate the value of a pension, and a cash figure is put on it. And people may have pensions which vary from as small as £5,000 or £10,000 of CE value to as high as several £100,000. And what the court is likely to be looking at is a comparison of the cash equivalent values of both people's pensions.